There's a reason why 2027 is pretty much on the verge of cooking like crazy in the film industry because there is so much to go through when it comes to this huge roster when it comes to upcoming projects of 2027. And some of them I'm excited for, and some of them I might need to check it out. But then again, I'm not really that excited over it. But who knows? You never know how these films might turn out. So we're going to start things off with Avengers Secret Wars. Now, honestly, this movie is one of the bigger MCU projects in history because, number one, there are tons of Marvel characters to appear in the MCU as far as like Spider-Man, the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, Venom, etc. But for me, we've heard stories about the Black Spider-Man appearing in Avengers Secret Wars. Because if you read the comics and if you see the iconic black suit on the cover of Secret Wars, I think you will know Tom Holland might end up returning for Spider-Man or Spider-Man in general in Secret Wars. He'll probably get the black suit for an important role, for an important scene, and maybe do a little bit of him here and there to the point where if the suit becomes too powerful, you'll do a scene with him during the Spider-Man era in his own timeline because of the suit. If it gets too powerful, then you could just do something with him releasing the suit. And then out comes Venom. Venom will pretty much be a huge part of the plot, you know what I'm saying? And then you could bring him on as an anti-hero, fighting Spider-Man and pretty much fighting the rest of the Marvel characters. I mean, if you do stuff like that, then it's possible that it might end up being the best MCU projects out there. Because I know I heard so many things about Spider-Man, this and that, and the MCU, whatever, but who knows? But between Avengers Secret Wars and Doomsday, both franchises are the ones that I'm really, really excited about. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much on my watch list. The Batman Part 2. The first one was really good with Robert Pattinson. Did a fantastic job as a YN Bruce Wayne, because to me, his performances as Bruce Wayne was really, really good because when he was cast as the Batman, it was a whole lot of controversy surrounding this guy because nobody thought that he could pull it off. As far as like him playing Bruce Wayne in the most confused Batman. And it does exist in the comics when you think about it because I heard all of that and it makes sense as to why they're always sticking to the source material. And James Gunn is pretty much going to be the one pretty much writing and producing this movie, so whatever though, but y'all know when it comes to James Gunn, he pretty much knows how to bring things to life. And yes, he's not perfect either, but I will say this though, right? The Batman movie was so good that they needed to bring some actual villains in this movie, like Mr. Freeze. I want to see him and Two-Face all together. I think Mr. Freeze and Two-Face, those two are going to end up being the huge key players in the Batman Part 2. I wonder if Catwoman is going to end up returning as well. Who knows? Only time will tell. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is the one I'm looking forward to the most. Maybe you could bring in a new voice actor for Miles Morales, but I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of hesitant into checking this movie out when it comes out next year because of his actor is one of the biggest losers in the industry. And not only that, but he's the biggest simp because he was simping for Haley Steinfeld, knowing that she is married and she's assumed to be, well, I think she's already a mother now. I think she gave birth already. So, Haley Steinfeld is married, a mother now. So I don't know what his actor is going to do. So I think I prefer to have someone else to voice Miles Morales, in the animated movie. But then again, who knows if it'll work out. Maybe it's because they didn't want him in the MCU because they have him locked in a cage somewhere. So maybe that's why Kevin Feige couldn't really bring Miles Morales in the MCU. Who knows? But I think Beyond the Spider-Verse might end up being an interesting film since the last one left us in a cliffhanger. Legend of Zelda is one of those films that I'm really, really excited to see because now The Legend of Zelda is one of those films that I'm mostly looking forward to because if you play the games and if you have an N64, like I did when I was young, I played the game, but I've never played it like that. I've never beaten the game. But I am familiar with the character and his background throughout the years. I hear people talk about him all the time. And if you've seen the behind the scenes images, the film stilts in New Zealand, how the characters look in costume, how the actors are looking as their characters that they're portraying in the Zelda film. Let's just say that this movie is going to be a surprise for Nintendo. Nintendo has been pretty on fire lately with the Mario franchise. So now they're pitching a live action Metroid film, you know, like a horror flick or whatever though. But when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. But if you play the Super Nintendo version and the soundtrack of that game, if it doesn't give you horror vibes, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Nintendo might be onto something because you never know. Superman, Man of Tomorrow. Now, I heard some good things about the sequel. They're already in production, but Superman from last year was so good, I couldn't get enough of it because I feel like it was the perfect comic film being brought to light. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like James Gunn has done an amazing job with his vision of Superman, of how he was meant to be. You know, and like I said, I appreciate some things Zack Snyder has done for his version of this, the Man of Steel and the Justice League. But some of his movies were not good either. I mean, both James Gunn and Zack Snyder are not perfect directors, but at least they know how to fix certain things and make sure you're getting the best movie out there. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give them that. But I am looking forward to seeing Man of Tomorrow because Lex Luthor is in it and he's going to wear the iconic suit from the comics. Not the dress suit, but the armor suit. He's going to be wearing that in the movies. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is the one I'm looking forward to also because Jim Carrey is returning as Dr. Eggman. You know, Jim Carrey is pretty much an underrated actor because I feel like, yes, some weird stuff has happened to him when he was in the red carpet, face all messed up, looking like he shapeshift into another person. And some say that he's been cloned. He sold his soul. Maybe, I'm not sure. But all I know for sure is that he's returning as Dr. Eggman. And the rest of the cast from all of Sonic films are making their comeback. So I am looking forward to it. So, plus, Amy is going to be in the movie as well. Yes, Chef Kisses. So shout out to Sonic, by the way. Now, Star Wars Starfighter, I have no knowledge of the franchise other than the classics. And that's about it. I love the classic Star Wars before Disney took over and pretty much did what they did and made it not recognizable and just hit George Lucas to the curve like that. So, yeah. I'm just going to skip the Star Wars movie. You know what I'm saying? Now, Godzilla X Kong Supernova is the one that I'm really interested in it because his last movie, Empire, was so good. The action, the VFX, the CGI, and the neon coloring is so good. Like, I love when Godzilla movies nowadays were done by the same people who did Godzilla X Kong, the first movie that came out in 2021. That one was really awesome because nowadays kaiju films are being brought back to life. You know, I feel like it's being done in a good way. But Godzilla Minus One is also good. I also love that TV show. I think it's a movie or a TV show. Was Godzilla Minus One was a movie or TV show? Someone let me know in the comments down below. I don't want to get confused. So I am looking forward to season 2. So Supernova is the one that I'm really, really interested in it. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out also. How to Train Your Dragon 2. I have no knowledge of that, so I think I'm gonna skip that. Shrek 5, I'm gonna skip that because that horrible AI looking CGI on the characters, it just didn't look right. It didn't feel right at all. Minecraft 2, I didn't really care for it. So it's The Mummy. Frozen 3, skip that. Children of Blood and Bone. Oh, okay, so that title alone seems very, very interesting. So I am gonna check it out and see how it goes because it sounds like a horror flick when you asking me the way that the title sounds. You know, Children of Blood and Bone. Star Wars 50th anniversary. I don't know what this whole thing is about. I think it's between the old and the new classics as far as like the films and televisions and stuff like that. But the classic Star Wars franchise by George Lucas will always be the best in my opinion. So I prefer his version before Bob Iger, when he was the CEO of Disney at the time, messed all of that up completely. The Thomas Crown Affair. Never heard of it. I'm not really that interested, so panic carefully. Panic carefully. This one sounds like a horror flick as well, so I think I'm gonna check that out as well. Alright, so that was your 2027 lineup for blockbuster release. And yeah. Secret Wars, The Batman Part 2, Beyond the Spider-Verse, Legend of Zelda, Man of Tomorrow, Sonic 4, Godzilla X Kong Supernova, Children of Blood and Bone. I think that's like 6 movies or 7 movies that I'm looking forward to. So I'm definitely checking them out. So what's your thoughts on this, man? What are your anticipated films that you're looking forward to next year? Let me know in the chat down below. I'm out.